Hey there, Wedding Confessionals listeners. It's Brooke, just popping in early to remind you that this is actually part 2 of our chat with Carly Blitzerhoof. So if you haven't listened to part 1, definitely pause and go back to episode 109 because it is a doozy. And if you've already heard it, well then sit back and enjoy part 2 of this chat with Carly. And at the end of this convo, Pam and I are going to pop back in to give you some bridal breaks. So let's get to part 2 right now.
Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Okay, we are back, having used the restroom, had a little bit of tuna melt. We're ready to get back into it.
Delicious tuna melt by Mama Blitz.
Then we are ready to get into wedding planning take 2.
We're doing it.
Okay.
Oh my God, you guys, I think Elliot just walked in. Should he say hi?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna grab him because I want him to correct me really quickly. Okay, I want him to first, the one thing that I want him to correct.
Hi.
Like
Hello, Elliot. Wait, is he coming down? Hi,
Hello.
buddy.
Hi.
Are we on the podcast?
You are.
Yes,
you are
it's
currently.
Are we broadcasting live?
We
We're
are.
broadcasting live.
Boulder,
How
Colorado?
much conversation did we have about getting married before we got married?
Probably like a year. Probably since the time we moved in together.
So we definitely had conversations. I was like, it was just like totally organic.
Did you tell him why we moved in together?
Yeah, about that I got.
That you got into a car accident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him all that.
I had this sweet bachelor pad that I was trying to hold on to, and
How hard was it,
Dating.
since you're here, how hard was it to sneak behind her back to create the ring that you gave her?
not that hard because it was a designer in New York City who we were just emailing, which she had.
And
no
I also
idea.
had told him the exact ring. That I
And
wanted.
she had really kind of tightly guided me to what she wanted. So
But I didn't know you were doing it without me.
yeah, so we had plans to go to New York together.
I told him.
Yeah. So
I told them I've been referring to your timeline. They asked me anything outside of the timeline, and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know.
So I think she, it was kind of a nice. I think she wasn't looking for it. You know what I mean? She was convinced that we were going there to look at rings together, and that was that. So
Nicely done.
yes,
Well done.
yes. So, all right, I'll get out of here.
Okay. So now that you've kicked your husband out,
Pop in, pop out.
I swear, if your dad doesn't make a cameo, I'm going to be really pissed.
Oh, he will.
He's
I'm
next.
sure he will want to make a cameo. Pam was very involved. My dad was pretty involved with the wedding because he, was a large benefactor, if we're being honest here. So let's go back. So planning, wedding, part 2, we had postponed. We were picking up planning again. We were like, okay, it's all happening. We're super excited, but COVID's like still around. And so how is this possible? It's still around. Like, what are we going to have to postpone again?
Wait, how far out are you doing this from your May date?
This is May 22nd was the new date. And
So when did you pick up planning the 2.0? Like January?
Probably like January.
Okay.
January
Yeah,
2021?
Yes, but I, if we're being honest, probably started thinking about it earlier, being like, this is still around, and this is like still like, is our wedding going to be okay? And Elliot, being his positive self, was like, we're just going to keep hoping that things are getting better and vaccines are going to come and everything's happening. And but as it happened, vaccines, we literally got all of our guests were vaccinated within that a hair of the 2-week mark before the wedding. So, but okay, backtracking, keep putting this one huge part off. Basically, the new date was set. We had started to think about planning again, but weren't like super back into it at that point, when the second largest fire in Colorado history hits October 2020.
Oh no.
Oh no, your ranch.
It was called. Yeah, so it was called the East Troublesome Fire, and it hit Granby, which is the town that's right next to the ranch, really hard. we spent days pretty much just watching the fire map go towards the ranch, and on the map just saw it wipe over the ranch. And so we were like,
Oh, no.
I was like, I remember seeing that and just sobbing, because I, at that point, like had such an attachment to this place, like knew all the people, had like spent a lot of time like talking to them, and they're just such amazing people. We ended up, and there was not a lot of information coming out of there. Like our planner had heard from someone like, oh, Sea Lazy U is burned. This ranch has been around for over 100 years. They were like, Sea Lazy U is burned to the ground. That's what we heard. We were both so devastated, obviously for so many reasons. And then a story came out from Sea Lazy U from their Instagram that neighbors, friends, people with ranches they have 200 horses on the ranch too. So they had all come to transport the horses out like 2 by 2. So all the horses got out, and a week goes by and we don't know what's happening because we haven't heard much because, they don't know. They're assessing the damage. Eventually we hear one of the barns burned down, one of the horse barns, and one of the cabins. The fire went right up to around the ranch. So a tiny piece on both ends burned down, and then a bunch of because they have like members there. So all the member homes on the property burned down, but the ranch itself, including the barn that's like the wedding venue, most of the guest accommodations, like all of the pool house and all that stuff, all survived. So it was like wild. And there was this whole like recovery effort, and we flew down and like went and visited and talked to them, and it was just like on top of COVID, like this had happened, and they were like super devastated, but they have all of these people who love this ranch and who go there year after year with their families. So everyone like rallied together, and they decided to do like a huge overhaul. They ended up like redoing all the cabins. They built like a new temporary barn. They replanted. They had like all these volunteers come in from everywhere, and they actually ended up having to evacuate the horses twice, because they evacuated the horses to a neighboring ranch, and then the fire came there, and then they evacuated the horses again.
Oh my gosh.
All the horses survived. Their adorable little mini donkeys all survived, including Petey, who's like a 20-year-old mini donkey who I'm like obsessed with. He's so cute.
Oh, Petey.
Yeah, no, he's adorable. He's so cute. So anyway, the fire was like it was insane. It was so insane. And as you'll end up seeing from some of the photos, it straight up looks like fall because it's like charred around. And it's cool. I mean, so we ended up getting married there. So Sea Lazy U, we like talked to them. We were like, we went back and forth. Like, should we still do it? And we were like, we love this place. Like, we will be Phoenix rising from the ashes. We will do this wedding there. We ended up being the first wedding after the fire, after COVID. And everyone was vaccinated 2 weeks. Like they had their 2-week like waiting period. So every single person, every single vendor was vaccinated. And when I say to you, it was like that. It was the first weekend that everyone was like, COVID is over, which like now we know like it's not over.
Right.
But like, I don't know if you remember, but there was like a few months there where everyone was just like, we beat it. We did it. Like, let's party. Like everyone's vaccinated. We're like invincible. And like, that was that weekend. Like that was our wedding weekend, was like, everyone was like, just so ready to like make out with everyone. Like people were going crazy. It was like, this is our Coachella. Like people were going nuts. So we were like, all right, I guess this is happening. We made it through the fire. And I have to say, like, my parents, me, even Elliot's parents were all like, we should cancel. Like, we don't know if everyone's going to be vaccinated. The ranch almost burnt down. We don't even know what it looks like. Like, is it even like, what's happening there? Like, are there enough accommodations? Did they burn down? Like, we don't even know what happened. And Elliot just was like, no, we're doing this and it's going to be the best thing ever. It's going to be incredible. And he had like infinite patience and faith. And we were all like doubters. And it ended up being like the best wedding of all time. Just, I mean, you know, I'm not biased at all, but it was, I mean, it was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like we just felt so victorious.
Okay, so I want to get into the details of the actual wedding.
Yes.
I mean, the journey to get us to this date is insane.
Yes.
So you had
more
80 people, roughly. Did
people,
anyone
yeah.
originally from the 2020 invite opt out for 2021, or did everyone end up coming?
So we did switch a few things around, but mostly just because either dates didn't work or like people had broken up with people. Like there were certain things that had changed. People had babies who couldn't come in 2020, but then could come, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a few things, but mostly none of it was COVID related. We definitely, I know you guys mentioned this, but like we definitely sent like surveys at points to people being like, what is your comfort level? Like, would you X, Y, and Z? And, you know, luckily a big, you know, pro to the weekend was like a lot of the stuff. I mean, it was like outdoor activities all day. The barn was like a huge space. So there was definitely a lot of space. And if people didn't want to be like in confined spaces, like they didn't really have to be. Although, you know, the breakfasts were in this breakfast area. And then the late night, like after party was in this like little saloon that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds
Oh
so
my gosh.
rad. So
yes.
the idea of
the thing that we loved about it was like, and this makes us sound like huge drunks. And I'm not even like that into drinking, to be honest, but like people parked their car on Friday and didn't have to touch their car till Sunday afternoon. And like everything was on the property. So it was like that was the only really insane part about doing this, is that we weren't just planning seating charts. We had to plan accommodation charts.
yeah.
Right.
So, and like all of the cabins were like, some of them had like a shared common area or shared bath. Like a few of them had a shared bathroom, which we put with like our family, but like the accommodations were all like different things. So I'm telling you, when you went into the office of our new house, which was covered in boxes also, we had like this master grid. I don't know if you've seen that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny, where he like looks like a crazy person and he's like pointing different. Yeah, that was like our like charts. We were like, oh, and this person has to be in this chart, but then my grandma needs to be over here because then she's close to here. And it was like, just, we were like going insane with this like accommodation chart. So that was outrageous.
So yeah, let's walk. Do you mind walking us through? Let's say like if Pam and I were invited to this wedding,
yes.
right? Like I feel like I want to hear like the wedding experience,
Yes.
right? Because
Okay,
there is
the
no
wedding
bridal
experience.
party, right? There's no wedding
No.
party in general, so it's just the two of you.
No bridal party.
So
Because
anyone
I mean-
arrives is just either guest or the family. So they arrive at the ranch, and then
on
Yeah,
Friday.
I park my car.
One of our friends was the officiant, so he had a little bit more to do. But
Okay.
Okay.
everyone else, you park your car. So you drive. You're at the Denver airport. You land at the Denver airport, or you drive from Colorado. People carpooled. There's a train. There's different ways to get there. You get there. You get to the ranch. You pull up, and it's Friday. Right? Yeah, it's Friday. You check into your room. You go to your room. There's a welcome bag that we lovingly put together with like an altitude kit and like all kinds of stuff. We had a friend of mine owns a brewery out here, and we told him that we told Elliot's mom is like obsessed with like theme stuff and wanted. It's probably where Elliot gets it from, but wanted to like make us all these like personalized things, and we were like, no personalized things, like no, none of that. We don't want it. But then Dan, my friend, makes these amazing personalized beer cans and brings them and puts, because he owns a brewery. They're awesome. They have our Bitmojis all over them, and he put them in the bag. So beer, some people had joints in their bag. Like we're like, yeah, this is a party. Like
Colorado.
you're in Colorado. Yeah. So we had that. People get to the room, they check into their room. That's great. First wedding activity. And then people were like wandering around the property, checking out the horses. They're at 4 p.m. every day. They do something called the jingle, where the horses go from the pasture to the barn. So if you lean out your window, or if you like go down by the patio house, you see 200 horses running by, and little Petey and the donkeys running by.
Petey. all the way
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah. So the donkeys and the horses run by, and everyone's like, "We're in Colorado hats, yeah." So that's fun. At that point on Friday, when people were coming, I was out on a paddle boat on the lake with my friend Jordan, paddle boating around, wearing like outfit one of the weekend, just like feeling really excited.
Finally getting to wear these outfits that you had planned.
Yes,
Finally.
yes. These cowboy boots that have never been worn in their lives by a real cowboy person, just me. So then at like 5 p.m. or 4 p.m., we do something called Horses and Happy Hour, where it's a happy hour with horses that you can like pet the horses and like drink and hang out.
That sounds
So there were, like,
lovely.
Yeah.
It was really fun. There's like the dock over the lake, and God, this sounds so bougie, but I mean, it was really fun. So there were like, we had like, the chef there is incredible. He's the coolest dude. And we had met a couple times because I actually went to culinary school, and food's like super important to me. So I was stoked that he was on the same page, and I was like, just have a good time. Like all I want is just like fresh local stuff. Like just whatever's local and good. Like I would love it to come from like farms around here, which is what they do anyway there. So he like went all out. I think he really liked that I was just like, do whatever you want, just like have a good time. So we had like seafood and all kinds of crazy stuff, and horses, and it was super windy though. So people were like, had their hats, and they were like petting the wind was like going, and I was like, oh my God, if it's this windy all weekend, we're so fucked. But it was really fun.
Did you do like a formal like rehearsal dinner, or were you guys way more casual?
So we did a like barbecue cookout after the
happy
horses
hour?
and happy hour.
Horses and happy hour.
Yeah.
Was Stevie at the happy hour?
Petey,
sorry, my apologies.
No, Stevie was the woman who did the illustration. She was also there.
But no one was petting her. That would have been weird.
No one was hanging her. Petey was there. Petey's like a little curmudgeon-y. Oh, there was a one of the other donkeys named Tilly was there carrying beer on like she had like beer. She was a beer burro. She had beer. They said it. I didn't even ask for this. They were like, "Oh, Tilly can bring beers." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And they were like, "Yeah, the donkey can bring beers to the happy hour." And I was like, "I have never been happier. Please."
Okay, so rehearsal dinner barbecue thing.
So the barbecue then was after that. And we had just a big barbecue. We put like lanterns on the tables and didn't do anything super crazy, but it was just tables around a fire pit, around like the pool area. And they cooked this huge barbecue with like, it was, they brought, oh my God, the food was so good. It was like fried chicken, and there were crab cakes and just like all kinds of great stuff. And they just kept bringing us food, and that was great. I'm like so overwhelmed just talking about this right now.
Because it was the best wedding ever.
I mean, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And
it
then,
should be.
And then we had this band from Boulder named Fox Feather who my old roommate lived with the lead singer, and her name actually was Carly, and we had heard them at some point, and they were amazing. They were like kind of like bluegrassy. And so they played, we danced, and then we decided that we wanted to do speeches all that night. But we didn't call it speeches, we called it open mic night. So we asked people to like, if they wanted to prepare stuff. So we had like, my sister and her boyfriend did like a full Elton John performance where they like changed the lyrics. I have a video of that, like in like sparkly outfits. A few of my friends who I had danced with in college, like did like a line dance. One of our friends, actually the guy who's a realtor who ended up selling us our house, Stuart, who's a close family friend, just sang some country song. It had like nothing to do with us. He just sang a country song, but he just was like living his best life, singing a country song.
I love this.
We had some like traditional speeches. A lot of like Elliot's old college friends spoke. I had some friends speak. It was just like, it was really lovely. It was super fun. I cannot wait to see the video if we ever get that.
So that Friday night's your first night there. Did you try to keep from getting like too wasted? Because you're like, I mean, it sounds like this is a rager of a party, but you're getting married the next day.
Dude, biggest mistake I made for sure. Tell everyone, number one piece of advice is keep it together on Friday night, because I did not. I'm like I said, I'm not even like, okay. And also this was like the first time I've seen all these people in a year.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
because of COVID.
It's like,
yes.
This is like end of COVID party number 1, wedding number 2.
Yeah.
Like it was like everyone was just freaking out. I mean, we ended up 20 people in a jacuzzi. We broke the jacuzzi. The jacuzzi was broken the next day.
I mean, if a donkey offers you a beer, you have to take it.
Well, yes.
It would be rude.
No, it would be rude to say no. Tilly gives you a beer, you take the beer.
Of course.
So Elliot and some of his guy friends, they had a poker table inside, so they were doing like poker night, and I was with some of my friends, and I do have some like Burning Man friends, so they definitely were like encouraging the rage fest. Like one of my friends like was on and keep in mind this was an open bar.
Well, I imagine at this
All
point,
weekend.
Yeah, it's like it seems like a very all-inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it was all inclusive. So that definitely, and no one's going to a car.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so you feel safe. Yeah.
In our welcome baskets, we had like in capital letters, like, you are at altitude. Every drink equals 2 drinks. Please be careful. Like,
that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yes, we don't want people having to go to the hospital. It's not close by. Like it, and like, you know, we were worried because people had been like hibernating. Like everyone's tolerance was low. Like, anyway, luckily everyone somehow kept their shit together.
What time did you go to sleep Friday night?
Like 2, 3. It was not a good scene. I showed up. So my sister led a yoga class the next morning. Because my sister was a certified yoga instructor. That's not what she does for a living. She just went through one of those phases that you go through in Colorado where she's like, I'm going to be a yoga instructor.
What time was the yoga class at?
It was like at 9
a.m.
Yes.
Wow.
And I had a cute outfit, yoga outfit.
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I got to go to this. Elliot was like, I am not going to this at all. So, okay, but I'm trying to think. You're a guest. So the guests are doing all that too.
Yeah.
That's so then in the morning, on their itinerary, they have the choices of a bunch of different things. There's a yoga class, there's breakfast. You can sign up for a horseback ride or go do archery or go on a hike or whatever. There's a bunch of different activities because basically they offer the same things that they offer families when they go for the week. You know, they have all these people that host the things. So, you know, I have to say, like, so I took the yoga class. The yoga class was so lovely and ended up helping me through my hangover. So Devin really killed it. She had us all, instead of saying Om, she had us saying Blitzerhoof. So it was just a room of like 20 women saying, well, not just women and men, saying Blitzerhoof together in unison. And it was so cute. It was so cute.
Oh my God,
amazing.
I love this.
Yeah, that was a great memory. But then I leave the yoga class and I look out and I see like 20 of Elliot and I's closest friends and family who didn't know each other, all going out on a horseback ride together. And like, it was just I will never forget that. It was like just so incredible.
It's like
and
your vision came to life.
It came to life.
Yes.
And so everyone was going out together on like this horseback ride through the Colorado wildlands. And honestly, the land had like regrown a ton. It was really pretty in a very different way because like parts of it were like charred, but then parts of it were like green. And I mean, you know what? We were really happy to be able to like show people this place that we really love, which we ended up moving to, and, you know, support the ranch as they were like getting through this really tough time. And I think we also really wanted to do it somewhere where we could go back. And the idea that we can go back there with our family is like really exciting to us.
That's a really good point. That's very cool.
Yeah. I think that's a pro of choosing somewhere that's like not just a wedding venue. Like it's like, you know, a hotel or somewhere that has accessibility for other people to stay
Yeah.
is like you can go back and like revisit it. I mean, you can do that with anything, but to be able to bring our kid back there and be like, this is where we got married.
Yeah, I just saw on Instagram a few weeks ago our friend Brittany Welsh,
Yes,
who's been on the show before. She got married at an art museum in San Diego, and they go back to the museum. They brought their daughter to the museum and
their
celebrated
tenure.
their
Oh,
anniversary.
great.
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's really fun that you'll be able to
love
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that is something that's really special too about the place. So yeah, you're a guest. You go. Honestly, being a guest of the wedding would probably have been more fun. I mean, we had a great time being not. But I couldn't do any of the activities on Saturday because I was like, okay, I gotta go.
That was. I was gonna say you did yoga, and then what time was the actual wedding ceremony?
It was like at 5 or something.
Okay, so you have most of the day to get ready, and you're like in go
Yes.
bride mode.
Yeah, I mean, because I didn't have a bridal party, it's not like we needed to go crazy, but we wanted a fair amount of time to like take pictures and stuff before the ceremony. So I can't even remember what time I ended up getting ready, but it was just me, my sister, my mom, and Denise, who's my husband's mom, getting their hair and makeup done. And we had this little like room that was really cute. What's funny though, I rented this I wanted like a fur rug because it was like a little chilly, and I wanted like a fur rug to like make the room look cute. The fur rug comes and it's legitimately like this big. It's like
the size of a pizza.
It's like a child-sized fur rug. And so Stephanie, the photographer, was like, because I was like, oh, we'll take pictures of like me getting ready on this like fur rug, and like I'm like literally like in this like tiny fur rug, like on like with my little like dressing gown, but like on a child-sized fur rug.
Amazon fail.
Yeah, it was whatever. It was
I never look at the dimensions. I never think about
know.
it.
No. I actually, honestly, I didn't even buy it. I threw it on with like the furniture rental company that was like bringing like the tables and chairs and stuff. I was like, oh, they have a rug, and then was just like, yeah, let's do that. Let's have the rug. But that ended up, and then I had told a few of my girlfriends like, hey, between activities or like after lunch, if you wanted to pop by, like I would love to see you while I'm getting ready. And probably one of the best moments of the weekend was I was just sitting there. I was getting my hair and makeup done, and I just had like 4 or 5 girlfriends who were all just like eating. They brought their lunch in and were just like chatting in the corner. One of them there were 2 babies. Oh, because my photographer had her baby too. Because she had just had a baby and I was like, yeah, bring him. And she was like nursing and shooting me. She's like incredible.
Go mama.
But yeah, she's amazing. From the Daisies, you should definitely link her. Not that she like needs it. She's just the most badass. I'm obsessed with her. She's way cooler than I am. So they weren't even like, I wasn't even talking to them. I was getting my hair and makeup done, but just listening to like my best friends, like laughing and chatting and like having a really lovely time while I was getting my hair and makeup done was so amazing. It was just, it was perfect.
Well, that's kind of a pro too for people trying to figure out if they're going to do a wedding party or a bridal party, is that a plus of not doing it does take maybe potentially the pressure off your friends, that they can just sort of hang with you, but not feel as obligated to do certain stuff.
Yeah.
It's an idea.
That was absolutely like, you can do a lot of the things. You don't have to have an official bridal party to do the things that are important to you about that. Like for me, it was not important to have, because our wedding was small. So I didn't really want to have half of the women there standing up there with me, like you're the more important half. Like it just didn't feel, I would have had a hard time figuring out who and all that. So it felt really low pressure. And I think that was important to me. But yeah, you can have them. What?
Yes. Oh, no. I just had a question. Because we were talking about you getting ready. Can we talk about the dress?
Yes.
when did you get the dress?
Just tell me when you guys are sick of me.
No, I am in. But you just mentioned the dress. And I was like, oh my God, we never even talked about buying the dress.
Well, before we go to the dress.
Okay, tabling the dress. I'll write it down.
I had a quick question. With not having a bridal party, Did you have a bachelorette party or anything like that? Like, I know you were in COVID, and do you think you would have maybe changed your mind of having a bridal party if you hadn't been going through COVID?
So I did have a bachelorette party kind of planned. We were going to go to Joshua Tree, I think. But then with COVID, yeah, it just wasn't a priority. It just kind of fell off. Like, it just didn't, I don't want to blame it on like being older, because it's not like I'm that old, but like in my 30s, it just didn't feel that important to have a bachelorette party. I don't know why. It's funny because like clearly I'm not like opposed to like having a good time, but
Yeah, you like a party.
yeah, it somehow just felt more stressful to have one. And maybe that's because of COVID, but maybe not. I have a hard time letting go of control too, I think. So I don't know. My friends have kids at this point. Like, it's just, they're all over the place, and we're already having a destination wedding. I do feel like if you have a destination wedding, it's a lot to ask to also have like a destination bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up doing like catching up on Zoom, and having like a little thing on Zoom, which was sweet. But I feel like I spent a lot of COVID, like connecting with a lot of my friends, like one-on-one through Zoom. And I do feel bad because I feel like Elliot really wanted a bachelor party. And I honestly feel worse about him missing his bachelor party than me not having a bachelorette party, especially because I'm now about to have like 2 baby showers. So I'm like, I'll make up for it. It's fine. So yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it never really bothered me not having one. And I think COVID actually was kind of just like an excuse to not have to like stress about it.
That's
For some reason, I don't know. I don't know why I felt like this pressure to like have this like bachelorette party thing, and COVID kind of took that off the table. And so I was like, you know what? The wedding is going to be like everything all in one. Like, I don't need people to like spend money on it. Just, I think that's what it is. But it was never because of a bridal party or not a bridal party. Like, I feel totally comfortable being like, you 10, 15 people, like, I would love you to do this with me. And like the same way I felt comfortable asking like 5 of my close girlfriends at the wedding to like swing by and say hi while I'm getting ready. Like, you can totally do that. You don't need to say you're an official bridesmaid, to come see me. So I do think that just because that's how it's been done doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. So
Make your own rules.
Absolutely.
I like it.
yeah. Yeah. And, like you said, it takes a lot of the pressure off of people. So I think it was really, it ended up being like a super low key day, which I feel like is what I needed after Friday night too.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, this dress.
Get back to it.
Yes. When did we find it? What does it look like? What was the journey to find it? Let's
So-
talk dress.
The dress. I went to a bunch of different bridal places in LA. I was really anxious about it, honestly, because I'm like a bit curvy. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not like plus size, but I'm like, at 12. So I feel like I'm like on that edge. And I was super anxious that like no samples were going to fit me for some reason, which TBH did happen at some bridal shops. It was like, oh, this is definitely not getting over my ass. But it didn't end up being as much of a buzzkill as I thought it was going to be, because I found a ton that I really liked. And I ended up going probably over like a month or two to like 8 to 10 different, no, probably like 5 to 8 different places. And every time I would invite a few people. There was one time where I went with like a larger group, like I went with like 4 or 5 girlfriends to one of the bigger salons, and that was super fun. And we found some great dresses, but I actually found a lot more success when I just like went with one other person. So I ended up finding my dress on a Sunday morning. We had made this last minute appointment, and I had one of my girlfriends come with me, super low pressure, like was not expecting to find anything, just because the designer, like I wasn't sure it was really my style. It's a designer named Sarah Seven, which she's in LA. And, I was worried that going to like one of the, cause there are like, 2 kinds of bridal salons. There's like the kind that has like a ton of different designers, and then there's the kind that's like just the designer. And I was like, okay, like there's not going to be a huge selection. And I put on this dress, and immediately it was like, this is the first dress that hasn't felt like a costume. Like, this dress feels like something I want to wear, like something I would wear, and something, and I just, I had the moment, like I had it. I didn't think I was going to have the light bulb moment, but I ended up having it, and it was really awesome.
That's cool. What is, because you have this summer camp wedding. You're talking
Yes.
cowboys, and you're talking
Yes.
about like cowboy boots, Colorado. I
I
cannot
can't wait to show you guys pictures.
I can't even imagine like what dress you end up with, because I don't know what direction you go in after that.
Can
That
I
isn't
show you
denim.
Can I put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh. So you went with lace with like a nude under.
Yeah, and then like short white cowboy boots and a cape.
Yes.
Oh, I love this.
So pretty.
Yeah, it was great. I loved this dress so much, man.
We will definitely link to this. So, okay. So
wait till you get to the picture of Elliot though, because I'm telling you, he like the one of him with the horses in the background.
we just scrolled to it. Yes.
He like, I'm telling you, I had this thing in my head where I was like, oh, like this is like Groom's magazine cup. Like this wedding is you. Like this wedding's about you. He got a custom suit made from a English suit maker in New York City.
That's so cool.
Wow. And this is what I imagine is like 4:00 when the horses are coming back.
Oh yeah.
right?
Is this jingle time? What do you call it?
Yes, it's jingle time.
Nice. We will definitely link. So
and you can
go ahead.
You can see the landscape. That was May. So it's burnt.
Oh.
Like that's all burnt mountains, because the fire came all the way. When you go to the ranch, you could see the line where the fire stopped right outside the lodge.
Oh.
Like it was wild.
So we're looking right now, just to clarify to everybody listening, we're looking at greenweddingshoes.com, which is a website that has a bunch of stuff about weddings, but they also will have specifically like showing you people's actual weddings. How did you guys end up on this site?
Our photographer has been featured on it and like will occasionally submit weddings. And so she submitted, God, these photos of me where I'm like prancing around. I'm like, what do I think I am? I'm like a matador. Like what?
They're amazing. Yeah. So we will link it, because from here, guys, you will see so many really cool photos from this wedding. It's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. So our photographer like submits weddings and submitted this. You can see if you go to the bottom where it's the Blitzerhoof sign that I was talking about too. But yeah, so anyway, the point is it was the first dress that like felt not like a costume. You know, like when you try on wedding dresses, they're like itchy or like they just feel costumey. And as someone who grew up, going to dance competitions, I felt like I wanted something that actually felt good. Like physically on my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought my grandmother there the next weekend. She ended up buying the wedding dress for me, which was a really special moment. She wanted to get my wedding dress. And my grandfather, who had passed away, many years prior, was in the furniture and like fabric business. And she like felt the fabric and she started crying and was like, your grandfather would have really loved like the quality of this fabric. And it was it was really special. And then, the cape, it was weird. I tried on some veils and I thought I would get a veil and I didn't feel like myself. And I put this cape on and I was like, I'm majestic. Like, this is how I want to feel. So I went with a cape and I feel I have no regrets. And what was crazy is I picked my wedding dress out for the first time we were going to get married. So I had the wedding dress for like 2 years and I was like, what if I hate it now? And luckily I still loved it. So
while you had it for those 2 years, was it sitting in did you just randomly put it on?
No, it wasn't sitting in my house.
Oh,
I hadn't done alterations yet.
Oh.
So they had stored it there.
Wow. That's nice of them.
They stored it at the store.
But that's smart, because they didn't do the alterations until you got close enough to your wedding, because that was apparently a big problem with a lot of the brides that had.
Yeah. COVID-19 too. Yeah.
Right. And I also was like, at some point when we were going back and forth between postponing and not postponing, we were like, because I was getting anxious, to be honest, about starting a family. And I was like, maybe I should just be like a pregnant bride. And so I was like, that'd be some serious alterations. We didn't end up going that route. And, now here we are. And I'm glad, because I ended up being able to let loose and have a good time at the wedding. But for a minute there, I was like, being a pregnant bride could be cool, right? Right, guys? Yeah, I'm going to do it.
You're just trying to throw out everything to see what's going to stick at this chaotic, questionable time. You're like, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's totally understandable. Okay, so we jumped around. We went to dress, went to bachelorette party. Now we're going back to so at this point, you are standing on your tiny little rug. You are in your outfit, your teeny little rug, and your beautiful dress. You're all ready to go. I'm guessing, did you do pictures before the ceremony?
We did. So
I mean, we just saw the amazing pictures from the website. Yes. So you definitely did pictures.
To throw in one last fun piece of drama. They had organized between the planner and the photographer, they were like, okay, we want to get this moment with the horses. So they took Elliot out there to the field. Elliot went out to the field. Elliot had his own groom photo shoot while he was waiting for me with the horses, just, being GQ Elliot for a minute, having his moment to shine. And they put me in a van to go out to meet him because you have to drive out there. And it starts pouring. It starts just torrentially pouring hail, rain.
Oh no.
So we're in Colorado. It can rain though, and be torrential for 20 minutes and then stop. So I was like, all right, everyone was trying to keep calm. Everyone was like, it's going to stop. Everything's fine. I was sitting in the backseat of the van, just rain. And only later did I talk to my florist, who said they fully had to set up that, because they had these huge towering floral arch things. And she said the rain took them out completely. And she had to do it again.
Oh my God.
But obviously I didn't know any of this at the time. It's just now because, my florist and I have become super close friends. She told me all the drama, which is a reason definitely to at least have a day of planner. Cause you do not want to be the one that they're calling to be the torrential rain just knocked everything out. So definitely a huge, I not a must obviously, but if you I just feel you spend all this time and energy and money planning something, and on the day of you just want to be able to enjoy, or at least only stress out a bit when it starts torrentially raining and not have to be the one people are looking at to change plans.
So you hired a day of how did you find them?
So she was they had different packages. So they had the full package, and then they have day of, and then there's an in-between package, which is a partial, where she takes over a month or two ahead of time with all the vendors and stuff, so that she starts coordinating with them. And then also is the day of. So I think it was perfect for us to have that, because Elliot and I are so type A. We didn't necessarily need the full planning, but we wanted a little bit more than just meeting someone on the day of. And she's incredible. Her name is Elena. And she has a company out here in Colorado, and she actually is also pregnant. So the two of us right now are pregnant together, and so she's great. If anyone gets married in Colorado, I recommend all of our vendors. So
ceremony at 5, your friend is the officiant. Did you,
our friend,
you are the type A controlling person. Did you know what the officiant was going to be saying?
No, we had no idea, but we had several convos with him. He's also an actor and a producer, and is probably the most well-suited. He gets asked to be an officiant all the time. He's basically he's like a hobby officiant. He's been the officiant for many people's weddings. But he and my now husband also became close because he was one of the first friends of mine that he met. He's been my friend for a long time from college. He's just, honestly, he knocked it out of the park. It was so incredible. His ceremony, it was so good. Know him. He should just become a professional officiant, in my opinion. But yeah, he was amazing. So anyway, the torrential downpour was happening. I was in the van. I was like, I can't get out of the van. We were supposed to do our first look, and eventually they were like, okay, it's died down enough. We just have to do it. So our first look was kind of in the rain, and with my dress, like dragging in like the horse field. And like, I was like, yay, but also like, my eyes, like, what's happening? Like, so we like hugged, did the first look. Elliot was stoked to see the dress. I was like happy, but also like freaking out because it was raining and our ceremony was going to be in like 45 minutes. But it actually was awesome because we ended up going into the barn where our reception was to do some photos because of the rain. And so we got photos in our reception space with like no one in it. As the rain was like drizzling on the wood roof, it was like really, it ended up being great. But also I was like, well, shit, our wedding is outside on a mountaintop. Like we're going to be rained out. And so we drive up to the wedding site and they drop me and my dad and my mom like down the hill because we walk up like a little thing to get to the altar area. And as I'm walking, I turn to my dad and I'm like, it's raining. And he just turns to me and he goes, no, it's not. And we just keep walking. And by the time I got to the entrance to where the ceremony was, it stopped raining. And so it stopped raining. It like cleared up and I walked to the altar and it doesn't rain through the ceremony. Also, we had drinks waiting for everyone at the ceremony, which I think helped. So everyone like had a drink while they were watching the ceremony and hanging out. And it doesn't rain the entire ceremony. People at the end of the ceremony, we have like some appetizers, hors d'oeuvres up there, take family photos, blah, blah, blah. Everyone walks down or takes rides. Oh, we had tractor rides up to the ceremony because it's like up a hill.
I love that.
I thought that it was going to be like the donkeys pulling people up, but it was just a tractor. But
Petey needs a break.
I know, right? I'm like, no, these poor donkeys, they do so much. We all get into the ceremony. We all get into the reception space. The door to the reception space closed, and then it starts torrentially downpouring again. So like for the 1 hour of the ceremony, it stopped raining. And then it started torrentially downpouring the moment we all got into the reception space. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I believe in, but whatever I believe in right now, thank you.
That's amazing. So reception, what did you guys do? Did you have like a band or a DJ or?
So we had a DJ because we had a band the night before. We had family style. We didn't have too many speeches since we had that open mic night the night before. So like both of our parents spoke. We had our first dance, which we had taken some dance lessons. So that was cute. I had changed also. I had an outfit change, obviously.
Yes.
There was like a Negroni bar and an upstairs Polaroid and temporary tattoo place where like Stevie, the person who did all the hand illustrations, had illustrated our dog with like a David Bowie stripe down his face because his name's Bowie.
I have a Bowie.
Pam has a Bowie.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Yay! Bowie dogs are the best.
Yes.
So anything else really fun from the reception that we're leaving out? Do you have to check your notes?
No, Elliot did not leave notes for this. The reception, it was just a really fun dance party. I mean, none of us had danced in a long time. I love dancing. Obviously, a bunch of my college friends, we were on like a dance team together, so everyone was getting down. And my parents' friends are all hilarious and dancey as well. The DJ was great. I do remember the last song he played was a Queen song. Was it Bohemian Rhapsody? I think it was. And somehow everyone ended up in a circle just shouting Bohemian Rhapsody at each other. And we didn't do a big like cake thing. We had mini pies, which I actually didn't get any of somehow.
No.
Sadly. We had mini pies and Elliot and I cut a cheesecake, which the only thing about a cheesecake, so cheesecake was delicious, but we brought it home and like put it in our freezer. They do not last very long, cheesecakes, even in the freezer. And I was like, we're going to have our cheesecake like a year later. And I Googled and it was like cheesecakes last 3 months in freezer. And we were like, okay.
Never mind.
No cheesecake.
Good tip, everybody. Good tip.
Yes.
So cheesecakes are great, but not to save from your wedding. And yeah, it was the rain was amazing because you could kind of hear it on the tin roof, and it was like super cozy, lots of candles. And, it was like a cap to the weekend. That's the thing about the reception, is because it was only a very small part of the weekend. Like, it doesn't feel like it was like this huge thing,
Yeah.
which, pros and cons. Like, I know the reception can be like this epic thing, and I feel like the reception was just like one more little piece of it. And then afterwards we had told the ranch they have this like little hidden saloon. Like, it's like an old fashioned saloon, and we had them close it off so that no one could see it like the night before. And we had them open it up, and then we had the after party in this like tiny little saloon for like the 20 or 30 people who were still up, because our reception, I think, went till like midnight since it started late.
Right.
And so then we had the after party in the saloon, and one of my favorite memories was just like looking over and seeing one of my friends from Boulder and Elliot's old roommate. Oh no, one of my friends from Boulder, her girlfriend, and Elliot's old roommate playing Billy Joel at the piano together. Drunkenly playing Billy Joel. And then they brought out chicken and waffles, and everyone was just like exhausted, but like hanging out in this lounge area, like listening to people drunkenly play Billy Joel. And yeah, it was good. It was good.
How late did you stay up that night?
Man, I don't think it was as late as Friday night, actually. We were hanging on. And you know what's funny is one of Elliot's friends, who's like not a huge party. Oh, LL's husband, Jake.
Okay, yeah.
So LL wasn't there because she had like.
I'm sorry. Do you prefer to her? You call her LL?
Sorry, Lauren.
That's so cute. That's a cute nickname.
Yeah.
Lauren Lily goes by LL. I like it. LL.
Oh my God, I really hope that she didn't like not want me to reveal.
No,
her
I don't
name.
think it's embarrassing.
No.
It's cute.
So she wasn't there because their baby was still pretty young. But Jake came because and that's how LL and I became friends, is through Jake and my husband's friendship.
Got it.
So Jake came, and Jake was just like committed to being like up until Elliot and I went to bed. And like I said, Jake's not like a partier, but I just look over and I'm like, Jake, still hanging, man. So that was awesome. And yeah, eventually we went to bed. I mean, yeah, it must have been 2, maybe, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
If you had the
another
after party.
big night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you have anything for Sunday as like a going away thing, or was it just everybody was too exhausted?
Sunday, it was just breakfast in like the main. So they had like, there's like a main lodge. And so everyone like had breakfast and lunch there, breakfast there on Sunday. And yeah, Sunday was great. It was super low key. There was nothing like crazy planned, but just people leaving all morning. Some people hung out till the afternoon, and, one of our friends who had actually showed up late, he is an actor and was on a shoot. And so wasn't there Friday night, but he was going to play a song on the guitar on Friday night and didn't end up doing that. So he was sitting around the fire playing guitar, and everyone was kind of hungover doing the thing. And it was, yeah, I mean, man, it was great.
So you have this huge, crazy weekend where you're up raging, that like the high and all the adrenaline of your wedding. Do you fly back to LA immediately and like get back to work, or did you have like a gap in between to like come down from this crazy weekend?
Okay, well, one, if you do have a destination thing, make a pack out plan, because we somehow ended up realizing that we now owned like all the things from the reception. We didn't do flower centerpieces. We did cutting boards with bread. We just wanted like edible centerpieces. So we just did we were just like, make 10 different kinds of loaves. So there was like loaves of bread and stuff as the centerpieces. But we bought these like cheap cutting boards from Target or whatever to put the bread on. So we now had like 20 cutting boards. we had a giant mirror that Stevie had brought for people to do the temporary tattoos on. Like, there was just all this shit that at some point we had paid for and or like said yes to. And then it did help. Paying for this over 2 years helped for sure.
Right.
But we had said yes to this stuff. And then we had, you know, there was a lot of dried flowers that were used. So we had all these dried flowers and just so much stuff. And we realized we had like no plan to get it out. So everyone had left. We were like, yay. And then the ranch was really nice about letting us like stay later than to like check out and stuff. But we realized there's like no way we're fitting all this back in the car. So like frantically, we're like getting my sister's boyfriend who like has a truck to like take some stuff. We like own like all this shit now. Like, you know, like crates that they had used to like put stuff on, gifts, like just we were frantic with that. That was insane. And luckily Elliot had the foresight to be like, we're gonna have to drive back to our place after the wedding, because I was like, let's just go immediately somewhere, dude, let's just get out. And he's like, we're gonna have stuff, like we're gonna need to go back and like get our shit together. So we did end up being able to drive back to our house and drop off a lot of the stuff, which was really helpful. But definitely hot tip is keep in mind all the things that you now own after a wedding, like even just like table numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like we are and like wanted all these little like tchotchkes. Like we were like, we wanted like photo things and these things and like a neon sign and all this stuff. It's like, where's that going? It's going in your car. So we drove that back. And then that night we drove into Denver and stayed at a hotel in Denver for 2 nights. Originally, that was just going to be it. That was going to be
the honeymoon.
Like
your mini.
That was our mini moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were like, we can't travel. It's still kind of COVID-y times. We don't know. A month before the wedding, we got, or maybe 2 months before the wedding, we got an email from Iceland Air saying, huge sale on flights to Iceland, visitors welcome. So we booked a last minute honeymoon to Iceland. So we spent 2 nights in Denver sleeping. I went to a salon and got my hair chopped off because I had been growing my hair out for like 2 years at that point, and was like, I got to do something crazy. Like, I don't want to have hair anymore for Iceland. So I called like around, because no salons are open on Monday. I called around and then got into a salon. She cut my hair off to like, you know, shoulder length. Elliot thought, because I kept saying I'm going to cut my hair off. He thought I was going to come back with like a pixie cut. He was like, nah, you just cut it a little. But I cut it from like under my boobs to like shoulder length. So to me, that was like
that's a big deal. Yeah.
Yes,
We're with you.
For the
Yeah,
validation.
yeah. We get it. We get it.
So, and then we left for Iceland the next day and had 2 weeks in Iceland, and that was amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
What a
I mean,
journey.
thank God we did that, because like, I kind of feel like everything, it went from like a year of nothing. Like we hadn't done anything in a year. We had been like hibernating. We had like barely, we'd, you know, gone to Colorado to see my family. We've driven to Palm Springs a few times after testing profusely to see my grandmother. And like, otherwise we were just hibernating for like a year and a half. And then suddenly it was like the biggest party we've ever thrown. And then 2 weeks in Iceland. And we were just like, what just happened?
That's like
what?
shell
Wow.
shock of just
Yeah.
like stimulation of new things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like just spent all of the money we've ever had. I mean, like, you know, everyone's like, go on a baby moon. We're like, we're still paying off our honeymoon. We can't go on a baby moon. Like, no.
Like that was it 2 years ago.
That was all the moons in one
Right.
moon.
Ultra moon.
Every moon we've ever had will have been that moon. But it's actually funny because Lauren and Jake had gone to Iceland and they were highly recommending Iceland. So they were like, was that a dog?
Yeah, can you open the door? We finally have gotten, it finally happened. Ruthie. Ruthie is in the...
Hi, Ruthie. Hi. You want to come up on the
Oh
table?
my God, I have like a vision. Oh my God, she looks exactly like I thought. Oh, hello.
It's Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
Oh, Miss Ruth. Okay, sorry. Ruth is done distracting all of us with her cuteness.
Well, I mean, this is a loaded question with everything that happened. What was the worst and best part of the whole experience?
Yeah.
Not even just the wedding, but the whole
God,
experience.
I feel like I should have prepared for this question because I know
It's coming.
I knew
Yeah.
it was coming, but I don't. I mean, the worst was probably when we thought the ranch burned down. That was like really devastating for so many reasons. just because, yeah, we had gotten to know all these people and really cared about the place too. And so
that definitely would count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was like really,
I'm with you there. I feel that.
So then how do you narrow down the best?
I know.
Honestly, I think the best part of the wedding was the ceremony. That's a large part of the wedding. I just know our officiant like did such a beautiful ceremony, and Elliot's vows and our personal vows to each other. I don't think I'll ever forget them. And like, it was just, there was this one line that Elliot said that he's going to laugh that I'm even bringing this up, but he said this line and it will repeat in my head forever. And it was, what was it? I moved to LA. Oh my God, I have to ask him what the line was. I'm going to ask him.
Go for it.
I'm literally calling him. He's going to tell me what it was, and then I'll tell you.
Keep on speakerphone. He can say the line.
Hey, babe. What was the line in that you know what's funny? I was just saying, I will never forget this line. And then I'm not quoting it right. But the line from the ceremony that you said about moving to LA.
Oh, I said, you're talking about the one line?
Yes.
Said, I don't know. I got it written down.
Oh, I moved to LA to pursue the career of my dreams. And I found the love. And instead I found the love of my life. Or something like that.
Lovely.
But it was really good.
Oh.
And I like cried. It was, God damn it. Why can't I remember what it actually was? It was so good. Okay, I love you. Bye. Oh, okay. No, I have the one best.
Okay,
line.
it's not that
Our
line.
officiant- It's not that line, given that I can't even remember it. Our officiant surprised us by asking the entire audience who was there to see us if they would ask us the question at the end, do you take this, whatever the question is? And so instead of him asking us, all of our friends and family asked us in unison.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I like that.
Which was really crazy. I can't, like, what is the question that you asked?
Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Like that line?
Yeah, I think we like made it a little more cash. Right. It wasn't like lawfully wedded, but like
to
all
honor
I remember
and
is
obey.
Out. Yeah,
right.
You must obey them forever, even if they're poor and sick. No, we definitely we tweaked some of the lines. But having everyone in the crowd ask us was like super crazy and not something that we expected at all, and was a really lovely moment.
That's so
That's
cool.
fun. I like surprises like that.
So
yeah, he definitely surprised us with a lot of stuff.
That's cool. Well, Pam, do you
Yeah.
think that we understand Carly's view of weddings?
Whew. I think so.
Do you think we
Yeah.
have a snapshot of what her ideas
I think
with
we
weddings?
have the gist of it.
Summer camp.
I mean, I don't even know what is my. I don't even know what my view on.
I think one of the things that I will say is the part where you said, "Is there even traditional weddings anymore? What does that even mean?" And I think that kind of is your vibe, which is, I think, great. You make your own rules, and whatever makes you happy, whatever that means, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, to answer the questions, I'm probably gonna be like, do whatever you want. Like, stop thinking about I know it's not practical or feasible for everyone. And believe me, like, there were plenty of moments and times where it was like, you know, our family's opinion was important to us. And so we did something that was not necessarily what we would have chosen. I'm not just saying fuck everyone. You know, I do think your wedding is about more than just the two of you. I do think, you know, as much as you want to say like, it's about you and just do everything that you want to do, like, it's also, if you choose to make it that way, about your community and about your families coming together. And there's a way to like honor that and also try to be true to yourself.
I like it. Let's get into those
On that
confessionals then,
note,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're back. Hi, Pammy.
Hi, Brooke.
I'm going to do some bridal breaks.
Yes.
Bridal breaks for all of our newer listeners are just suggestions we give not only to brides, but grooms or anybody helping to plan a wedding, of just things to do, nothing to do with wedding planning.
Nothing.
Just take a break,
Chill out.
enjoy your life,
Yeah.
and have a beverage. That's usually what Pam wants you to do. That's Pam's prescription for
is.
taking a break.
Yes.
So you usually have some sort of fun cocktail. We are now in December. I
Yes.
love these seasonal drinks. We're in it. We're in LA where it's like 80 degrees outside, but let's pretend like it's snowing and we're cozying up. What is the drink this week for you?
Well, this one might be more of an LA type of drink.
Oh, is it like, does it have bleached hair? I say that with bleached hair.
No, this one is from Sandra Lee on the Food Network. We all know
Sandra freaking Lee,
Sandra
semi-homemade?
Lee. Yes.
Oh, so this is an easy one.
It is easy,
Okay,
and
good.
it is semi-homemade. This is a frozen hot chocolate martini.
Ooh.
So that's why I was like, well, the frozen might still be for those living not in snow.
Yeah, okay.
But, or you can, if
Maybe you
you're-
want to pretend like you're on a tropical vacation, but also with hot chocolate.
or sit by the fire. Yeah,
Also, like, you can just like a drink.
it's true.
It's like a milkshake, man.
It kind of is. So it's the hot cocoa mix, like the envelopes.
Oh,
So
like
we
a Swiss Miss?
Mhm.
Love.
Milk,
Sure.
vanilla vodka, and ice.
Oh, you just blend it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Throw in a couple of mini marshmallows for looks.
I like that because you can make a couple all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop them in there.
How
Buzz,
easy
buzz,
is
buzz.
that?
Yes. We need to finish recording this so we can try one of those because that sounds good. Because
I
I'm
brought
not
hot
usually
cocoa.
into like a sweet kind of cocktail, but that's so milkshake adjacent
It is.
that I give it a whirl.
And I'm sure you could do it without the vanilla vodka if you want to as well.
You can. I won't.
I know. All right. What's yours, Brooke?
Okay. So, again, we're in the holidays, Christmas. I thought I'd do two because we don't have a guest. And I started bitching to Pam. I'm like, God, I got to like watch more things or read more things because I feel like I'm blasting through all of my, like suggestions.
yes.
And she's like, it's your fault. You keep giving out two things at a time. But guys, I'm obsessed. So this is mostly holiday stuff. So I'm deep into holiday silliness. Okay. So the first one is an actual sincere, like, I genuinely want you guys to watch this because I think it's really, really good.
Okay.
2 seasons have already come out. I don't know if they're ever going to make a third. It really did end well on the second season, but I could always see it go on. It's on Netflix. It's a Norwegian series called Home for Christmas. And each season is they're just 30-minute episodes, and there's 6 episodes per season, so 12 episodes altogether. So if you're thinking about blasting through something,
That's an
or if
easy
you're
one.
if you're on a flight and you need something to like download real quick, and then you can blast through a bunch of them on the flight, this is great. So the thing is, it's about this woman who is single living in Norway, and basically the pressure of her needing to have like some sort of a boyfriend or someone to bring home for Christmas, and she sort of puts it on herself. She just sort of lies and is like, oh yeah, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, he'll come for Christmas. And then it just sort of spirals from there. And it sounds like the trope is so like generic, like romantic comedy or like cheesy Christmas movie, like Hallmark. Instead, it is beautifully shot, really heartfelt, still fun because again, they're 30-minute episodes, but she's just so real. And I genuinely I like the twist at the end of both seasons. At one point I kind of got teary-eyed a couple times, and it's set in Norway where they have like the Christmas villages and the shopping,
Right.
tons of snow. There's cross-country skiing at one point. Like it's so Christmassy, but in a very authentic way. And it is a smart person's like rom-com Christmas thing to watch.
Okay.
So I genuinely love it. I'm probably going to watch it again because I remember I had no idea that this season 2 was coming out, and it just showed up on the suggestions on Netflix. Like, would you like to watch season 2 of this? And I was like, I didn't know this was an option.
Yes, please.
Yes. So yeah, I wholeheartedly advise you to watch that one. That's like a really like serious, like, yes, please watch this. It's like intelligent, good, thoughtful programming. The next suggestion, my second bridal break. Total corner turn. We're still in the world of Christmas.
Okay.
We're talking about one of the silliest Christmas movies I've ever seen. This is what happened. Okay, so my friend Andy, she wrote our song. We started
her.
Yeah, we started the show with Andy singing to you.
Yes.
So my buddy Andy and I love watching terrible television together. Like during the pandemic, we would like call each other and like video chat and watch the same Netflix show at the same time. So, but now that we can do things in person again, she's like, come over. We're going to find a terrible Christmas movie on Netflix or Hulu or whatever. And I was like, sounds great. So we put on the first one. I'm not even going to suggest it. First of all, it was like we were 15 minutes in and there was no talk of Christmas. Like someone briefly mentioned there was no Christmas stuff about. And we were like, listen, we signed up for I know it was going to be a bad movie, but I wanted a bad Christmas movie.
Right.
So we just paused. We were like, find another one. Go through we just abandoned that movie completely. And then we found this movie called The Christmas Catch. It is about this, like, she's like a local cop who's trying to help like catch somebody who has this like crystal reindeer that's worth a lot of money. It's so silly. But here's the thing about it. And the reason why I want you guys to watch it is that Andy and I made a game of the second it started, we were like, there's so much Christmas in every scene. Like every shot has either a wreath in the background or someone's wearing a Santa hat or there's garland. So we made a joke that every time there was a new scene, we would just start shouting and pointing out all the different things. It became like part of the game.
Right.
And I will say that halfway through the movie, I thought, hey, it would be really cool if blah, 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 blah was the twist. And she was like, ooh, I wish they were bold enough to go there. And then they did.
What?
And the twist.
You predicted it?
Yes, but it was a good plot. I was like, yes, I got it. But also it was cool. And I like that they did it. So it is not a good movie. Like, I don't want to sell this as if it's like compelling, content.
Right.
But it's if you want that dumb, silly kind of Christmas.
Yeah.
So fluff. And again, oozing with Christmas. I mean, wreath upon wreath, covered in garland, stockings everywhere. I mean,
well, I'm
so
glad
much
you
Christmas.
got what you were looking for since the first one was
exactly
a fail.
what we needed. So I highly recommend it. It is not good, but it is enjoyable. And those are our bridal breaks, our super holiday filled bridal breaks.
Yes.
We're barely into December and we cannot wait.
We're like, wee!
So true. I literally spent the day like doing like Christmas decorating and bringing somebody a menorah. We are so in the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we got to leave early or we have to wrap up at some point so you can go to a Hanukkah party.
Yep.
Yeah, so we are in it.
We're in it.
All right, so now we did the bridal breaks, Pammy. We had a lot of fun.
Yep.
And now we have to move on to the part of the evening where we let all of our listeners know all the different ways you can find us, all the different ways to get in contact with us. And we do it in the form of a quiz, which I love because I don't have to take the test.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we set up this structure, but I love it. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know how we came about this.
I just started doing it and you
Yes.
got suckered in.
You're like, Pam, we're doing a quiz. I'm like, okay.
And you thought it was like once.
Yes.
It's been years of this quiz.
Because you love to watch me squirm and torture me.
I like watching you grow and learn. Pammy.
Way to spin it.
Hey, it's here for. What is the name of our website?
Wedding Confessionals.
Oh yeah, well, I guess what is our web address?
Okay.
Yeah.
Weddingconfessionals.com.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Agree. From there, you can find links to all of our handles on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we on social media?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter.
Yeah, you got them.
All right.
I think I put up an extra TikTok, so I think we're up to 3.
Oh,
Big
fun.
stuff. Yeah, big stuff. Also on our website, you can find links to our show notes. So anytime we are mentioning like our bridal breaks or if we're talking throughout the episode about something, I say, well, put in the show notes. If you can't see it within the body of your podcast that you're listening to right now, you just go over to weddingconfessionals.com, click on the episodes, and you can see all the little information that you need.
It'll be there.
Also, we would love for you guys to send us your confessionals
Yes. Keep them coming.
and your follow-ups.
Yes.
So
Those are coming.
Yes. There are 3 ways for you to send us your confessionals. One is an email. The email address is
weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
Okay, Pam, the phone number that you can leave us a voicemail.
434
Yes.
933
Yes.
2663.
Yes.
It's a Christmas miracle.
434-933-2663. She's done it. She got it. She didn't have to wait all the way to 2022 to get it right. How's it feel?
I'm sweating a little.
You can also go to our website and click on the tab that says what, Pammy?
Tell us your secret.
Yes. From there, that's just a form. So you don't have to give us your email address, no phone number.
Nope.
Just tippity tap out a fun little name, tippity tap out a fun little drama, and hit send.
Yeah. Drama, question, whatever.
Yeah, whatever you got going on, let us know. Also, specifically, Apple Podcast likes us to have ratings and reviews. It helps us move up in their fancy little algorithm so more brides and grooms can find our little podcast. We request that you give how many stars, Pammy?
5.
We like 5 stars.
We do.
We do. Thank you so much for people that have given 5 stars.
Yes.
We like you a lot. Besides Apple Podcast, Pammy, okay, we're
Yeah.
going to go in alphabetical order. Oh, she's scratching.
Oh, gosh.
You sweating
Okay.
still? A little warm?
I was okay.
You're usually cold in here.
I know.
Okay, besides Apple Podcasts, there's 2 more that are in the A's.
Audible.
Yes.
Amazon.
2 C's.
Castbox.
Yeah.
And Castro.
Yes.
Okay.
2 D's.
Downcast and Deezer.
1 G.
I like Deezer.
I know. D's are so cute.
That's a fun name to say.
Deezer. 1 G.
Google.
Yeah. Google Podcast. 1 I.
iHeartRadio.
Yes. 1 O. Not under, but
Overcast.
yes. There's 1 L.
I think
We're
that
getting
stumped me
deep
last
in there.
time.
Listen notes.
Listen notes.
Player
Okay.
FM, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Podtail, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podcast Republic, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. Also, you can use your lovely voice and request us. What are the 2 ways you can use that?
With Siri or Alexa.
Yeah.
Our BFFs.
Yes, our BFF, Siri and Alexa. Pam, we did it.
Yeah.
So this is part 2. So everybody stay tuned for the confessionals portion
Yes.
with Carly, which is also really fun.
It's really fun.
Because if anyone knows how to give advice after going through a crazy wedding experience, it's Carly.
She's ready. Yep.
For sure. So I will see you next week, Pammy. Bye.
Bye. Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song,
And David Kantrowitz for our fantastic logo.
and Ramsey Millette and Brian Maylard for their technical support.
If you want to learn more about our show, where you got to go, Pam?
Check out our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
That's it, girl. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.